Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy, Hikins, and Trevor.
Country in the world which has the most chess grandmasters?
I would say England.
It's very nice of you to say that, Cuz, but I don't think you're referring to me. But no, it's not actually. It's Russia. Russia have always had the vast majority, a lot of chess grandmasters. The next sort of four nations who are big in chess, if you like, one is India, and then you have Germany, France, and Spain, and we don't seem to figure in that league at all. Nor does the USA. Having said that, there's thought to be in the UK about 605 million players. So that's quite a good percentage of our population in the UK. Yeah. Worldwide, I think it's suggested there's about 600 million players. So just over 500 million. So that's a lot of people on what is actually a very interesting sport, if we call it a sport. So yeah, I'm glad you at least know how to play, because a lot of people don't know how, and it is a great game of strategy, and apparently it's very good for the mind. I mean, I do play a pal of mine. We play once a week, and it's good. I mean, you get some. In fact, when I was at school, in my high school, I was in the chess club. And apart from the league games, a friend of mine in my class, we played most lunchtimes when there was nothing else on. Wow. And of course, you get to know each other's games so well that the first 9 or 10 moves for both of you tended to be the same, but then you get into the strategy of the game. So yeah, I just give a shout out to chess, as it is a good game to focus on when nothing can really distract your mind. And it's good for the old mental grey matter, to keep working on these things. So that's chess. Now, moving on to premonitions. Do you think there is such a thing as a premonition?
I think so, yeah. Because sometimes, sometimes, and I think that's where the sort of the deja vu feeling comes from. You think, whoa. Have I been in that situation before? Has that thing happened exactly the way it's happening? I think it's part of it. So I think as humans, sometimes you get a feeling, and maybe 5% out of 100, you get it right. It's very, very rare, but I do believe it.
And you feel that is some sort of a premonition you may have had about that. I don't know whether I mentioned on the WhatsApp comment, but if I tell you the story of a ship, a British ocean liner, and it was the largest ship of its time and technologically advanced for its time as well, and on a maiden voyage, it actually struck an iceberg. It sank pretty quickly, within a couple of hours. There was catastrophic loss of life, some survivors, and the ship was thought to be unsinkable, which probably is a dangerous tempting of nature, if you like, to say, well, we've built something that nature can't overcome. In other words, the great oceans of the world couldn't sink it. Well, this particular ship did sink. And you would think I'd be talking about which ship?
I would think you'd be talking about the Titanic, but I could be wrong.
Yes, you think that, and you would be wrong. Titanic sank in 1912. Well, a man called Morgan Robertson, he was a merchant seaman, I think. He wrote a short book called a novella. In 1898, 14 years before Titanic sank. And this book was called Futility, although it was subsequently renamed The Wreck of the Titan, because in this story he wrote in 1898, this ship was called the Titan, which in itself is a bit spooky, I suppose. And so much about the story in the book is exactly the same as what happened. Now, I've got some comparisons here. So the first one I say each time will be the Titan, the story in 1898, and then the Titanic. The name, an enormous ocean liner named Titan, the RMS Titanic. The reputation, considered unsinkable due to advanced technology. Titanic, also considered unsinkable. Collision, Titan hits an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Titanic hits an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Timing, the disaster happens in April. Titanic, the disaster happened in April. Cause of the sinking, a glancing blow with an iceberg, not a head-on collision, did extensive.
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor Gear and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.